Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to UNM School of Law's commencement ceremony for the class of 2025. I would like to begin with our land acknowledgement. Founded in 1889, the University of New Mexico sits on the traditional homelands of the Pueblo of Sandia. The original peoples of New Mexico, Pueblo, Navajo, and Apache, since time immemorial, have deep connections to the land and have made significant contributions to the broader community statewide. We honor the land itself and those who remain stewards of this land throughout the generations, and also acknowledge our committed relationship to Indigenous peoples. We gratefully recognize our history. Once again, welcome! At this time, I would like to recognize a group of individuals who play an important role in this convocation, the outstanding faculty who have taught and nurtured the members of this class for the past 3 years. Members of the law school faculty, please rise so that we may recognize you. I would also like to recognize some special guests who I know are here today. There may be others who I don't know who are here, but I would like to recognize Regent Paula Tackett, Judge Estrada, Justice Bacon, Damian Lara. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you to the many members of our staff who also played a part in helping our students succeed and for their role in making today such a special occasion for our graduates. I would like to especially thank Amber Johnson, Bonnie Steepleton, Patrick Lopez, Courtney Holmes, Lynn Taylor, Robbie Fontenot, Emily Romero, Jackie Ibarra, Greg Garcia, Danny Cisneros, and Tony Anderson. We have a really amazing staff. Thank you. It can be said that it takes a village to get a student through law school. Our students have achieved what they have in part because of the support of family and friends. Graduates, please join me in thanking your friends and family for their role in your accomplishment. It is now my great pleasure to introduce this year's commencement speaker, New Mexico Court of Appeals Judge Shamara Henderson. Judge Henderson was appointed to the Court of Appeals in 2020 by Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham. She was born and raised in Albuquerque and is a graduate of Valley High School. She earned her bachelor's degree from American University in Washington, D.C., where she attended on a prestigious full-ride Frederick Douglass Scholarship. She went on to earn her J.D. from the University of New Mexico School of Law, where she received the Bondurant Scholarship and the UNM Graduate Fellowship. After law school, Judge Henderson clerked for Justice Charles Daniels on the New Mexico Supreme Court. She began her legal career as a prosecutor in the 2nd Judicial District District Attorney's Office, later serving as Associate General Counsel in the Governor's Office. She then joined the U.S. Attorney's Office for the District of New Mexico, where she tried criminal and civil cases in federal court and handled appeals before the 10th Circuit. She also led outreach and training efforts across the state. In 2017, Judge Henderson co-founded the law firm Henderson and Groman, which later merged with Friedman, Boyd, Hollander, Goldberg, Urias, and Ward. Her practice included criminal and civil and administrative matters at both the trial and appellate levels in state and federal courts. Judge Henderson is a wonderful friend to the UNM School of Law. She offers guest lectures, mentors students, and collaborates with our faculty. She has also taught for many years as an adjunct faculty member, including to some of you in your lab class. Thank you, Judge Henderson, for being such an excellent source of support to the school. We are honored to have Judge Henderson here today. Please join me in welcoming Judge Henderson.
Good afternoon. Dean Carey, distinguished faculty, alumni, law students, family and friends, and most importantly, members of the University of New Mexico School of Law graduating class of 2025. Thank you for having me with all of you here today. It is truly an honor and a privilege to be speaking with all of you today. And as I look out on the graduating class, I see mentees and former students. I'm so very proud of this year's graduating class. You are truly a special class. As of today, despite any differences amongst you, all of you have one thing in common. You are now all stewards of the rule of law. It is your duty to understand it, practice it, teach it, make it just, and protect it. But first, I want to take a moment to ground us, because I know many of our graduates are currently in what I call the gray zone. A handful of you are truly present and enjoying every moment of today. But I know many of you are processing what still needs to be done to become practicing lawyers. I definitely fell into that latter category 18 years ago, and I wish I had been more present during my graduation. I encourage you to be intentional about being present today, because nothing changes about what must still be done in the future. Just because you allowed yourself to be proud of your accomplishment of graduating from law school and enjoy today. The only sacrifice by not doing so is your own joy that can be felt today and remembered for a lifetime. Now, I know you worked hard to get into law school, and you survived your 1L year. You made it through torts, contracts, criminal law, con law, and ELA. But more importantly, and my former students here won't be surprised to hear this, you learned how to understand your clients' legal and non-legal needs and how to represent them competently and ethically. You are likely busy in ETP, moot court, specialty classes, and organizations for your second year, and your third year was spent taking any final bar courses and getting through clinic. For some of you, you had outside responsibilities while maneuvering all of this, and for others, you were still figuring out who you were while you navigated law school. So enjoy today. This is an end of an era for all of you. Take the time to revel in your accomplishment. Tell those who supported you the last 3 years how much you appreciate them. Let your friends and family be proud of you, and enjoy celebrating what few others have been able to do. Because let's be honest, law school's no joke. But I should get to why I'm here, and for the judges, lawyers, legal scholars, and law students in the audience, I am sure what I'm about to focus on is no surprise. Simply put, the rule of law is important. I understand you all recently received a letter from several members of your faculty emphasizing why the rule of law is important, so it seems my focus for today is timely. What is the rule of law? This is a question that has been asked by many of us recently. Former U.S. Supreme Court Justice Anthony Kennedy once noted, "The term rule of law is often invoked, yet seldom defined." A question that perhaps presents multiple answers depending on how you view the rule of law. The Black Law Dictionary states that it is the predominance that is absolute of an ordinary law over every citizen regardless of that citizen's power. Which, let's be honest, this is a sentence that takes you straight back to your 1L year where you read it and you tell yourself, what? And reread it again to try to understand what you're being told. The simplest explanation of the rule of law seems to be that all people in government institutions are subject to the same laws. We often hear people say that no one is above the law, which may be an even simpler way of saying it, but you still may ponder, what does that actually mean? The American Bar Association's World Justice Project has proposed a working definition of the rule of law that's comprised of 4 principles. 1, a system of self-government in which all persons, including the government, are accountable under the law. 2, a system based on fair, publicized, broadly understood, and stable laws. 3, a fair, robust, and accessible legal process in which rights and responsibilities based in law are evenly enforced. And 4th, diverse, competent, and independent lawyers and judges. Looking at the historical context of the rule of law, many scholars, philosophers, and government leaders, both conservative and liberal, have relied on the rule of law when trying to prevent the arbitrary application of law by people with power. Aristotle wrote, "It is more proper that law should govern than any one of its citizens. Upon the same principle, it is advantageous to place the supreme power in some particular persons. They should be appointed to be only guardians and the servants of the law." In 1903, President Theodore Roosevelt said, "Every man must be guaranteed his liberty and his right to do as he likes with his property or labor, so long as he does not infringe the rights of others. No man is above the law, and no man is below it. Nor do we ask any man's permission when we require him to obey it. Obedience to the law is demanded as a right, not asked as a favor." He also said, "If in the working of the laws it provides desirable that they shall at any point be expanded or amplified, the amendment can be made as desirability is shown." So at its most base level, the rule of law is to ensure that the law is applied equally to everyone and that no single person or institution can override the laws of a country. Despite the rule of law's historical roots in Greece and the UK, the United States has arguably tied itself to the concept of the rule of law more strongly than any other country. Bound in the language of our Constitution is the creation of 3 equal branches of government working in conjunction to create, enforce, and interpret the law. The separation of powers, as written in our Constitution, safeguards that no one person or institution can gain absolute power and stand above the law, and ensures that each branch of government has oversight over the other branch's actions. Judicial independence requires it to be free of undue influence, which is paramount to creating a fair legal system with unbiased decisions. No matter your political ideology, our country has held at the core belief that the rule of law is the keynote to our stability and our ability to thrive. Our democracy is built around ensuring the rule of law. But that doesn't mean the rule of law is perfect. It isn't always fair or equitable. The rule of law should be challenged to form a more perfect union. Questions should be asked about whether a law, while equal on paper, is actually equitable in its application. For example, I would not be standing in front of all of you here today if it was 100, 80, or even 50 years ago. But laws were challenged and changed through advocacy. It is how we change and how we challenge the law that is important. For those of you who have heard me speak before, I am hard-pressed not to find a sentence or 2 in a Dr. Martin Luther King's letter from Birmingham jail when discussing the law. That one letter carries such depth and truth when it comes to many points of legal philosophy. So it's no surprise to me to realize he commented on the rule of law. Dr. King said, "I submit that an individual who breaks a law that his conscience tells him is unjust and who willingly accepts the penalty of imprisonment in order to arouse the conscience of the community over its injustice is in reality expressing the highest respect for law. Now, we know he wrote this letter from jail in acceptance of violating a law he believed to be unjust. But this statement is much deeper than that simple reflection. He is acknowledging the need for the rule of law, the importance of having the same laws for all people and institutions for the stability of our country, but also the importance of advocating when a law is unjust, deprives people of equality, or the result in application of a law is inequity. And accepting that if your form of advocacy violates said law, that you accept the consequence of violating that law, not only for the respect for the rule of law, but for the benefit of educating the public about the law or laws you wish to change. Because educating the public allows us then to determine what laws we choose to live with as a nation. And if changes in laws are necessary, we as a nation can make those changes by electing those who represent what we want our nation to be. And they legislate laws accordingly. But even more broadly than that, as the future of our profession, as stewards of the rule of law, you have a heightened duty to ensure that the rule of law is in fact just. Equally important is maintaining transparency and accountability. How and why laws are created, how they are enforced, and how they are interpreted must be transparent to those who must abide by them. It delivers a stable and predictable legal environment, which is crucial for investment, economic growth, and fair business practices. It is essential for economic stability and individual freedom. Now, many of you know I could take this whole conversation and turn it into an ESI and AI conversation about the risks that creates with the application of the rule of law. Countries are starting to discuss using AI to write laws. The US has had lawsuits about government agencies using AI to determine how laws apply to individuals, but I think that's probably a different speech. So for now, all I will say is if you choose to use ChatGPT in a brief, please site check it and make sure that it's actually correct. And for those of you that have listened to me time and time again talk about if you get a PDF of a text or a DM, remember how I showed you how easy it is to fake, and I expect you to ask for that ESI in your discovery. Now I know that some of you can't wait to get to court and argue your first case. Others want time to get a feel for your practice and will move in by learning the nuances of the law by brief writing and taking a deposition or two before walking into a courtroom. I also know some of you may be focusing on business and transaction law, contracts, or real estate law with no intent of ever entering a courtroom. While others plan to create laws by either going into politics and holding legislative office or lobbying, others plan to enforce laws by going into executive office or appointed positions. Some of you may have more of a community focus through nonprofits and other avenues. Hopefully a few of you are courageous enough to come back and teach at the law school one day. And a handful of you may even want to be judges. So why is a deep sense of understanding and duty to the rule of law so important to all of you? Because in each one of those scenarios, the rule of law applies. It is important to understand your role in enacting laws, enforcing laws, advocating for or against change to laws, creating binding contracts, educating the public or future lawyers about the law, all while living and working in a legal system and government that is dependent on maintaining the rule of law. In almost any area of the law, you must know the Constitution, statutes, and case law surrounding your position. In court, you must be prepared to argue why your client is entitled to due process and a fair trial. You may be arguing for clarity in existing law. You may be seeking a narrower view of the law. You may be advancing a cause for a more equitable interpretation of the law. And at some point, you will likely be in a hearing regarding access to justice in a court. If creating laws, you must understand why laws exist and how the creation of new laws change and impact old ones, and whether your changes are in fact constitutional. If enforcing laws, you must ensure that they are enforced in alignment with the Constitution and are done in a manner that maintains the stability and public confidence in the government. In business transactions, you must guarantee the parties are abiding by the applicable laws and ensure the rule of law is protecting property rights, which is essential for economic stability. As a community leader, you must be able to inform your community of freedom of speech and assembly, of existing laws, form a plan on how to advocate for the changes you want to see, and prepare those who follow for what consequences may lay ahead. As law professors, you must prepare your students to take on all these responsibilities competently and ethically. And as a judge, it is your duty to understand the law, interpret it fairly and impartially to the utmost best of your ability. As lawyers, you must realize that each and every one of you have a vital interest in the integrity of our legal system. Therefore, we, practitioners of law, must act accordingly. I know each and every one of you aspires for excellence in your professional career. To do so not only requires hard work, dedication, and mastery of the law, and a belief in oneself, but dedication to ensuring the rule of law stands, that the rule of law is transparent and is just. Because the rule of law gives us all a chance, and that is certainly one thing we can all agree on. So as you all prepare to start your next chapter, remember to take some deep breaths, make time to enjoy your family and friends, be gracious and collegial to your peers. Don't forget those creative hobbies that make you who you are and bring you peace, because I promise your peace is going to be tried occasionally. But also remember to be diligent. Master your area of law. Remember who you are representing and what it is that they really need from you. You are all now stewards of the rule of law. We are governed by laws and not people to protect our democracy. Don't let any one person or institution demolish it. As future lawyers, it is your duty to understand, believe in, practice, teach, and fight for and protect a rule of law that is just. Congratulations again, Class 2025. I wish all of you so well.
Thank you, Judge Henderson. That was wonderful. I'd like to also welcome special guest UNM Regent Victor Reyes, who I didn't realize was here. Thank you for being here. It is time for our hooding ceremony. Graduates, please come forward in a single file line. Hand your name card to the faculty member announcing names. As your name is being read, proceed to the group of faculty members standing on the hill to be hooded. After you are hooded, please come to me to have your photo taken. To everyone else, you might expect that at this time I would say, hold your applause. That is not our tradition here at the law school. Faculty, graduates, friends, and family, feel free to applaud and cheer and even hoot and holler as our graduates are hooded.
Taylor Dillinger. Owen Lopez. Michelle Rivera Ramirez. Matthew Mallory. Stephanie Flores. Adriana Martinez, Esquire. Micah Autumn Curtis. Mario Bugarello. Trisha Romero. Madeline de Herrera. Anissa Elizabeth Dalal. Jasper Cook. Marco Alarid White. Paige Romero. Alicia Larey Ulibari. Jordan Terrazas. Jennifer Guadalupe Nunez. Kevin Finger.
Dorothy Onakute Thompson. Lorena Ortiz. Cristencia Pilaja.
I don't have my middle name, but my middle's name Lee.
Lee, of course. Good to see you, Miss Jones. Congrats.
Are you able to hood me?
Now, Professor, go further back in the queue. Come back, go a little behind us. Hello, sir. Hello, Mr. Braxton. Oh, Lord. Okay. Corey Michael Braxton. You know it. Alexander Arvanas. Alexander Alvarnas.
Hakeem Bellamy.
My middle name is Lee, but I didn't put it. Yes. Thank you for everything.
Nicole Lee Jones. Kelsey Chale. Laura Creech. Vanessa Springer. Celia Ruth Lee.
Hello, congratulations.
Thank you.
Quentin Ampersand. Hello, congratulations. Serendipity Show. Congrats. Serendipity Shoal. Good to see you, Mr. Hildebrand. Congrats. I gotta get our picture. picture on the way back.
Oh, you are.
We got time. Quick. All right, ready? Elliot Heater Brown. Congratulations. Caleb McCain.
Anton Dubobna.
Congratulations, Miss Steffi. Holly Duffy.
Thank you. So we hand it. What does Ian do? We just shake his hand?
Rebecca Taylor. Congratulations. What names do you want? All of it?
All of it.
John Anthony Wazalowski the fifth. I like that fifth. Congrats. John Anthony Wazalowski the fifth. Hello, sir. Good to see you. Good to see you, Mr. McMahon. McMahon. Shane McMain. Hello. Oh my goodness. Look at you. Well done, sir. Well done. Vincent Montoya. Good to see you, Mr. Emmeline? Emmeline Heisler. Emmeline Heisler. Hello, hello. Congrats, sir. Congrats. Ooh, and Justin Niska. M. Justin Niska. Hello, sir. Good to see you. Congrats, Mr. Womack. Trevor Womack. Good to see you. I'm loving this. Damon. Congratulations. Your mama did good. Always trust your mama. Damon Nieto. Congrats, sir. Congrats. Ezra Baldwin. Haleen.
We got it.
Congrats, Mr. Haleen. Ezra Baldwin Haleen. Hello, sir. Well done. Well done. Parker Murphy. Hello, congratulations. Thank you so much. So proud of you, dear. We did it.
Oh my goodness. I'm not ready.
You got it. With those cute nails, you can do whatever you want.
Oh, right?
See? Show the nails. Morgan Hagman.
Can you not say my middle name?
Yes, I cannot. Good to see you, Miss Wheaton. Ashley Wheaton. That's amazing. Can I say doctor? Ashley Wooten. Mr. Bear, I'm so proud of you. Got our picture. Oh. Dr. Jeffrey A. Bear, MD, and JD. Hello, sir. Congratulations, sir. I'm so proud of you. Good job, sir. Good job. Get our picture. Oscar Lorta. Hello, sir. Hello. Congratulations, Mr. Bear. Me neither. That looks this will be my last one. Scott Turner.
John Bauer. Daniel Hurin. Tanner Suman. Jack Harvey. Kevin Randall Hart. Melba Tajali Aguilar. Adam Warren Turner. Luisa Sanchez Carrera. Lauren Vasquez. Angela Cecilia Griego. Dakota Ellis Reynolds. Marcus Miller Moore.
I swear to you, if I trip you to
Jonathan Hawthorne.
Jonathan! You say Rico in a minute. What's your Rico? Yeah.
Richard Rico Montoya. Daniel Leva. Brittany Marie Herrera. Ursula Rose Wilkinson. Stephanie Jock. Amy Fagans.
Congratulations, Rebecca Myers. Rebecca Myers. Hello, dear. Congratulations, Danielle Lopez. Congratulations. You're very cute. We're here. You did it. Well done. Danielle Lopez. Hello. Marisa Elena Marisa Elena Casados. Hello. Jordan Corliss. Corliss? Corliss. Congratulations. Jordan Corliss. Hello. Congratulations. Lauren Marie Hewitt. Lauren Marie Hewitt. Hello. Mrs. Bonner, congratulations. I won't even say Mrs. Do it. Emma Palmer. Hello, hello. Good to see you. Michelle McMillan, congratulations. You got it, you got it. Just feel cute and you look cute, so you go for it. Work it, work the whole runway. Michelle McMillan. Hello, congratulations.
Alphabetical, but just Gurulay works.
Gurale?
Yeah.
Dante Gurale. Congratulations, sir.
Thank you.
Dante Gurale. Hello, Mr. Scott. Maxwell Stahl. Hello, sir. Hello. Congratulations. Heath Scraw.
Scraw.
Scraw. That's
Like
what it says.
straw, but with like, yeah.
Congratulations, Heath Scraw. Come pull in a little bit. Heath Scraw. Congratulations, Miss Roderick. Congratulations, Phoebe Roderick. Phoebe Roderick. Congratulations. Congrats. Scott Beauchamp. Beauchamp. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And my other person is the last one. So I'll just tell me when to talk. Scott Beauchamp, Esquire. Congratulations. Emma Taylor Walters. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Esquire. Brianne Potter, Esquire.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you.
Brianne Potter, Esquire. Congratulations. Cassia Scarborough. Cassia Scarborough. Hello, sir. Mr. Armbruster. Feels right. Just get right in. Brent Armbruster. Hello, sir. Hello. Congratulations. Maximilian Whitaker. Maximilian Whitaker. Congratulations. Aiden Canella. Pronounce it correctly. Thank you. Aiden Caneller. Hello, congratulations. Graciela Port. My cousin's name. Graciela Poor. Jeanette Antundo.
George Nicholas III. Thank you.
George Nicholas III. Amber Riano. Brianna Sigay.
Don't forget Julius. Yes. Council. Yes, thank you very much.
Raymond Concho Jr. Lydia Marguerite Tatro Saez. Aubriana Romero. Chad William Alvis. Megan Marie Looney. And as his classmates said, Ian Carrillo.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, thanks. Thank you. I present to you the class of 2025. Thank you so much for being here today. Faculty and graduates will exit as they entered the ceremony, with faculty walking out first. This concludes our commencement ceremony for the class of 2025. Congratulations.